I'm gonna go out there and say that this is one of the best from Arabian Oud. My name's Neeb, welcome back to AROMATIX. Today we're gonna talk about my new favorite Arabian Oud fragrance. Now granted, I have a lot of Arabian Oud fragrances which are due for reviews, and a lot of them will be coming soon, so if that's your cup of tea, you know what to do, hit that subscribe button. Today's fragrance is right in between a couple of other fragrances that I genuinely love. The two other fragrances that I see this to resemble is gonna be number 1, Amiri, and number 2 is gonna be Sultani. I own both of the fragrances and I rock this one a lot. I mean, I've drained quite a bit amount of this juice, and I've definitely rocked a lot of Amiri. I've taken this on numerous occasions, numerous traveling situations, opulence, summertime, freshy, even spring and fall time. Honestly, this is something that you could rock every day of the year, except for the winter time. It doesn't really have too much of that strength. Granted, this lasts a long time, but the way that this one smells is more like cashmere, vanilla, some ambers, a little bit of peppers, musk. It smells great. It's refined, it's polished, it's like this ISOE super base. It just smells good. Similar category of fragrances like Diwan, the new one, so ISOE super bombs, smells great, but it's not something that you're gonna get continuous wafts of. You really have to be conscious of smelling it to really smell it, and when you do, it's definitely there. So the performance, it's not the question. This one, however, does very similar to what Amiri does, except it adds a bit more interesting notes to this one. There's Cashmere Oud. Despite the fact that Fragrantica says Cashmere Musk, it's actually Cashmere Oud. And not only that, but there are some peppers, a little bit of spices like nutmeg, including some of those musk, sandalwood, amber, and patchouli. And this fragrance that we're talking about is called Arabian Oud Diwan. And Diwan basically means a hall or a place of gathering. A lot of similar notes between the two, but the difference between the two is significant enough to really make a difference. So there's the addition of patchouli, maybe some nutmeg, a couple of different facets that are found in this that are not in this. And same thing for Sultani. They're all in the same or similar category of fragrances. So it's fresh, spicy, a little bit musky. So let's say we put this on a scale. I would place Amiri at the freshest end of both fragrances, with the performance being above average for sure, but Sillage not better than a couple of the other fragrances, and it'll make sense when I start to talk about the scent profile as to why it doesn't project as much. So diffusive, ISOE super, bright, fresh, a little bit spicy, and in the dry down it's got that vanilla and amber and sandalwood. And so right in the middle is going to be Diwan. Diwan takes pretty much what Amiri does. Actually, it smells really close, but it takes what Amiri does and adds a bit more density. There's a bit more spice. There's an addition of cardamom. The citruses in here is a bit jammier, and the musk, specifically the musk, is upped a little bit more. And what this ends up doing is it makes this one more appropriate for fall and spring, but it's right there at the borderline of being, too much for even the summertime. I still think you can rock this in the summertime, and for me personally, it almost makes this one superior to Amiri. The only reason that it's not superior, I would personally say, is because there are just enough differences to make these non-redundant, in my opinion. This one sparkles a little bit more off the top. It's a little bit airier. It's more citruses, whereas this one's a bit denser. It does pretty much identically what this does, but it adds a heftier dose of musk, more sweetness, and sandalwood creamy woods. And the clear-cut difference is going to be the Cashmere Oud, which basically just smells like a combination of that musk and woods. It's not an animalic wood or oud by any means, and it really just smells like deeper, denser woods like I described in the beginning. So this is pretty much this with enhanced notes, bolder, denser, and because of that, this one is absolutely beast mode. Diwan does outperform Amiri, but it does not replace Amiri. Amiri is gorgeous, it's opulent, it's summertime, it's great. It's not just summertime, honestly. Like I said, these are all season fragrances, period. But it's best in like the spring and fall. All of these are best in spring and fall. The one that you can easily get away with is going to be Amiri, and you can absolutely get away with Diwan, but Amiri does have the overall lighter DNA. So Diwan basically takes what this does, grows it up a little bit, adds a little bit more density, gives you much more performance, and I was actually pretty surprised when I sprayed this on. I was like, wait, did I spray on Amiri? And then as this one started to develop a little bit more, I could see the clear-cut differences, and then I was like, wait, did I spray on Sultani? And then throughout the entirety or the rest of the fragrance, where it was literally pumping off of me for 4 hours, the sillage on this is absolutely insane. You will not go nose blind to this bad boy, and it lasts 10 plus hours easily and on clothing to the next day. And what you're left with, or in the air, what you get is like this sweet musk and cardamom spice or nutmeg spice. Gorgeous fragrance, and vanilla, of course. But this video is going to be specifically a Diwan review, and that's why I'm giving you guys the performance and all that stuff. But scent profile, I had to include these other two just for it to make sense. There's going to be separate reviews for both of the other fragrances like Sultani and Amiri, but for now, Diwan is what we're talking about. Bang for buck, 10 out of 10. Performance is a 10 out of 10. Scent profile, opulent, ISO E super vibes with musk, vanilla, and some spicy woods. Fresh, spicy, musky. Gorgeous fragrance. And honestly, I think that even though it's niche, you'll smell like money, but it's pretty mass appealing. Easily one of the best from Arabian Oud, especially with the easier ones to wear. And then lastly on the scale is going to be Sultani. This is like opulence to the max. It is a lot more musk centric. There are some more floral nuances, but this isn't one that I've rocked just yet. So I'm going to leave it there until I actually get a full wearing. But I will say that if we put this on the spectrum just off of initial impression of this one, it seems like this is going to be the densest and most characteristic of them all, and Amiri is going to be on the lighter end of the scale. By no means is it a light performing fragrance, but Diwan is definitely in the center and it outperforms Amiri easily. So that's all I have to say about Arabian Oud's Diwan. Absolutely one of the best, the most balanced of all the three, and distinctively in the same category or family of fragrances such as Amiri and Sultani. You've been wondering about Diwan and you've been curious as to how it smells and whether or not it's close to Amiri. It absolutely is, but in all honesty, if it came down to it and I had to pick one or the other, I'd probably go with Diwan. Do I regret having Amiri? No, absolutely not, and I would definitely buy it again now that I have Diwan as well. That's all I have to say about Arabian Oud's Diwan. Let me know down in the comments if you own this fragrance, and while you're down there, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and until the next video, peace.